Good morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. It's right now 10:48 in the morning for me. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Good morning. I hope that you're having a lovely day out there as we embark on another long song Saturday, doing a full album. I kind of Long Song Saturday is super catchy, but I've been doing more albums than actual long songs recently on Long Song Saturday, so there might be some adjustment to the title of that in the future. But anyways, all right, but it's just so catchy. All right, so today for our full album review, we are going to be listening. I mean, you're already here, so you already know. We're going to be listening to The Damned. We're going to be listening to their full album, Machine Gun Etiquette, released in 1979. This is their third studio album. We have been listening to a little bit of The Damned before from their debut album, but a lot of people have said, hey, listen to this album. So today, we're going to be doing that. Among those who have suggested this album, let me pull up your names. I would say that this effort has been spearheaded by AK. So AK, thank you so much for the recommendation, the patience. I always thank everybody for their patience because it takes time for me to get around to these things. But AK, Matt John, Hot Black Desiato, Pau Barabajago, I messed that up, I know. Career Luna, Aderin Coach or Koch, Prince of Cups, Miyu Media, Gunderson, and that is it. So thank you guys for the suggestion. As we go ahead and get into the album, two things to note. One, I do know that before when we had listened to The Damned, some of their songs got copyright blocked, so I kind of expect this to be edited, so just putting that out there immediately. And then some of the songs are pretty short, so I probably am going to let some of them run together. But we'll kind of see how it goes. Like I'm probably just going to take the first two songs together and just kind of go from there. But I don't know. We'll just listen to the album together. You know what we do. We make it up as we go, and the points don't matter. So before we dive into it, please press the like button. Get that out the way. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if it's your first time here and you enjoy what I do and you want to keep on watching, press that subscribe button. You can also support the channel on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. Anyways, that's it. That's my plugs. Let's go ahead and plug the album in, and we will talk about it after. Let's go ahead and start off with... Is my thing on? Yeah. Imagine if I was doing this whole thing and the microphone wasn't even... Okay. So we're going to take the first two tracks together, which is going to be Love Song and Machine Gun Etiquette. Let's just take the first two together. Why not? Here we... Hold on, make sure my volume's correct. Looks correct. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do?
Intro. Oh, he even says what the love song gets me. Okay. All right, let's take the first two tracks for a moment. There's a decent amount of stuff to bite into here. So first of all, in the title track in Machine Gun Etiquette, that wow, 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 wow. Okay, I've heard that before, and I don't know if it's from this song, because as far as I know, I've never heard of The Damned before, doing this channel and listening to them. Or does that sound like another song that just plays the same notes? I'm thinking of that. All right, I don't know if it's like a commercial or something. I've heard that wow, 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 and I think after it goes wow, 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 and dun 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 da dun hey da dun da dun dun. What song is that? I mean I just sang it, but okay, whatever. I mean it sounds familiar to whatever song I'm thinking of. That little riff in there sounded familiar, it's making me think of it. Okay. Besides that, I have one word to describe the music, the production of these two songs though so far, and just the energy that it's going forward with. It's rambunctious. that is the word that all of this boils down to. The opening love song, it starts with this big riff that I was not expecting. It sounds like the ending of a breakdown in the track, but here they use that to open up. And I like how that just smashes your windows and enters your house without your permission and just puts a record on that you weren't expecting. And here we are doing this, The Damned are in your house. And I think that that's a great opening. I don't know what was said around, at the beginning, but there was something that was mentioned there as well, like vocally. and then it gets into its fast, breakneck paced music that I would come to expect from the band. The guitar playing is extremely nice in here. Machine. The guitar is being played by Captain Sensible here on the album, and like just really really nice. Has kind of a rockabilly kind of sound to it in some ways. And as I was listening, especially as it went into the title track and the second track, did anybody else get reminded of like Motorhead a little bit? Like it sounded like it didn't sound like Ace of Spades, and I'm really not familiar with Motorhead besides like a few songs. But like it sounded like Motorhead, like the actual guitars and the rock sound that they have there. And also getting into the production side of things, the production is not clean at all. The production is kind of dirty, kind of grimy, kind of cluttered. There's this electrified tangibility to it, but it works really well with this type of sound. It works really well with the energy that, like I said, that they're putting out there, in which it really does feel like Bull in the China Shop. And even in the second track, in that moment where it kind of slows down and gives a little bit of openness with that riff that I was mentioning in the beginning, it quickly thrust right back into the space of things, which the drumming, Rat Scabies, was phenomenal. Especially all those quick snare rolls that were thrown in, just like very rapid, and then goes right back into the music after that. I thought that was really good. That was a good 1-2 punch. And the second song even referenced the first song, but let's look into the lyrics on that, huh? Okay, so in the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, how do? Haha, yeah, let's keep it turning, keep it under the line. I'll be the ticket if you're my collector. I've got the fare if you're my inspector. I'll be the luggage if you'll be the porter. I'll be the parcel if you be my sorter. If you're doing the work, baby, I'll be whatever you need me to be. Just for you, here's a love song. Just for you, here's a love song. And it makes me glad to say it's been a lovely day. And it's okay. I'll be the mail, you'll be the guard. I'll be the ink on your season ticket card. I'll be the rubbish, you'll be the bin. I'll be the paint of this sign if you'll be the tin. So even if, he describes the relationship in so many different ways, and I would never describe a loving relationship as if you'll be the rubbish, or I'll be the rubbish if you'll be the bin. But perhaps he's in a way humiliating himself. He says, look, I know I'm not like really like measuring up to your quality. You're a 9, I'm like a 2, something like that, right? Like I'm the rubbish, but if you'll accept me, I'm happy to be rubbish as long as I can be in your bin. Right? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's what I'm saying. Just for you, here's a love song. Just for you, here's a love song. All right, and then and it definitely has a different kind of tone than maybe a typical love song. And then for the title track, table's moving. I was trying to fix it. It's moving a little bit. All right. For Machine Gun Etiquette, I remember what you said second time around. Don't you wish that we were dead second time around? No more getting pushed around. Not that we've gone underground. Now it's time for you to see what the love song did for me second time around. So I wonder if he's saying like, maybe the relationship didn't go well in the first track that he's referencing. So my phone locked. I'm trying to unlock it. Now it's time for you to see what the love song did to me. So maybe like he's putting that energy into the music, into the art, into this specific song here. Really famous, stinking rich, straight up there without a hitch. Now I remember what you said. Don't you wish that we were dead? No more getting pushed around. Back to haunt you with our sound. This could also be this is their third album, I said. So it's not really their second time around, I guess. But like this could be them like making a statement to the audience, to listeners, to their fans, to their non-fans. Like, hey, we're back. We're going to do things our way. You're either here to play or play yourself out. That's how I kind of read into it, looking at that. Anyways, let us move forward. Oh, actually, hold on. Before we move forward, there's actually a Wikipedia article for a love song. It says that it was the first fruit of the reformed lineup's deal with Chiswick Records. It was the Damned's first top 40 hit, peaking at 20 on the UK singles chart and leading the band's debut on Top of the Pops. That's cool. So they got some attention because of it. That's it. That's all I need for what I got. All right, let's move on into the next track here, which is I Just Can't Be Happy Today. Here we go. has like a post-punk Doors sound. This is just chaos. I just can't be happy today. It takes what I've already from the first two tracks. I already have like an idea of where the rest of the album could go. But I Just Can't Be Happy today has taken that notion, thrown it out the window to my right, and walked into the door from my left, a completely different idea. The addition of the keyboards in here has immediately changed the direction of where this album can go, of where the band can go as we listen further. It has, to me, a mix of like the Doors and a post-punk atmosphere. The music is a lot softer, a lot more accessible here on the album than what I would expect. This is the gateway drug. This is possibly the gateway song for the Damned if you were trying to introduce them to maybe lesser inclined ears towards the genre or such, because the singing even has like, I don't want to say he reminds me of Morrison a lot because he doesn't, but there is a certain tonality that I would say that it's there, just like the keys. To me, there's a little bit of array in there, especially just backing up the movement of the music, and then later on the solo. It's relatively simply played, but I think it makes a great effect in there. That's once again going to be Captain Sensible, not only playing guitar but also the keyboards there, and then Dave Vinian on the vocals, which really, really great vocals on here. And then Algie Ward on the bass, which I really like how this started off with a nice strong bass line, and then it has a nice like rubbery depth to it, and then the band just kind of floats on top of that with a little bit lighter melodies on top of everything. It says that this was released as a single as well and hit number 46 on the UK single chart. I think that this was awesome. And then I guess just reading some of the notes about it, it says it was heavily edited for radio play, removing the spoken word monologue, though the version on the record is unaltered. Well, of course, the version on the record should be unaltered. I just can't be happy today. Just can't be happy today. A lot of you know there's not a smile. There's no feeling bad without feeling fine. There's a price on your head, nobody's side, when justice is read. I just can't be happy today. They're closing the schools, they're burning the books, the church is in ruins, the priests hang on hooks, the radio's on ice, the telly's been banned, the army's in power, the devil commands. Illegal to dance, forbidden to cry. You do what you're told, you never ask why. Ignore all those fools, they don't understand. We make our own rules. I just can't be happy today. With so much going on, and of course this is something that could be applied of course at the time in 1979, or it could be applied right now in 2024, or any time really in between, and probably in the near future. You could apply this to anything. There's so many things going on in the world. It almost feels like, man, how can I be happy? How can you justify your own self and personal happiness? And yet, of course, you can. There's always unfortunately things that are going on around. But you can't let that get you down. You got to do what you can to make a little bit of change, a little bit impact in your own area. And as long as everybody does a little bit, a lot can be attempted and done. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. I don't know why I did I say it like that. Let's go ahead and move on into the next track here, which is Melody Lee. And let's just do that one for now, and then we'll go into the next ones. Okay, Melody Lee. Melody Lee. Here we go. Why not? Okay. The guitar playing is just leaps ahead. Okay, I actually do want to stop it. I just want to say really quick, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I do want to move on into the next track too. But the guitar playing is from what little I've heard of the Damned from before, like it's noticeably elevated. It's noticeably much better, much cleaner, much thrashier when it needs to be. The piano intro, I thought they were going to continue that throughout, but no. But it was just a nice little intro to kind of set your stage, kind of transition you from the previous lightness of that track to this one, and then it smacks you right against the head and brings you back into what you can expect. And then besides the guitar playing, drumming as well. Just controlled chaos. This is the best way to describe the drumming in there. Just a thunderstorm in a teacup, or whatever you say. Melody Lee, a broken mind and a broken dream, a burst of speed, a change of heart. Your life was cruel, they called it art. I guess you could argue that the music also is kind of captured by the lyrics. A burst of speed, a change of heart, because there was clearly a change in the music from that piano into what followed. Melody Lee, you need a mirror to set you free. You know you can't cheat tomorrow. If you hide, it'll end in sorrow. Melody Lee, you gotta find your secret enemy. You're on the run with nowhere to go. If you die, there's no one to know. Forget your heart, you need not stay a second longer than today. Melody Lee, a broken mind and a broken dream. A burst of speed, a change of heart. Your life was cruel, they called it art. I'm gonna take this in two different ways. Could be talking about a real person, who they're talking about. They could definitely just be about an actual person, and they're in a way paying homage to this Melody Lee. Or I'm gonna take it. Listen, I'm taking a leap with this one. Maybe they're talking about how some people may look at their music. They may be talking about some people who look at punk music in general and say there's a lack of melody or a lack of this or whatever, and yet they're saying, like, no, there is heart, there is melody, there is art in what we're doing. Something like that, like they're kind of defending themselves, maybe? Maybe I'm thinking too deeply on that. Maybe I'm going in the wrong direction. Let's pull a reverse and let's just back that up and go with the first part that I said. It's possibly about a person. All right, let's move on to the next track, which is Anti-Pope. Here we go. Even a production change with this. Okay, besides I Just Can't Be Happy today, at this exact moment, this could be my next favorite on the song, or on the album. It's so straightforward punk in the beginning, right? It's exactly what I would expect. It hits all the marks, the fast pace, the aggressive guitar, the sneering lyrics, the biting commentary, right? Okay, but then halfway, we get a change, and I am not expecting that. If you ask me, it opens up into this almost, it doesn't quite go this direction. This is just where my mind's kind of going. It opens up into this, like, where it could go into a psychedelic rock break. It could go into like a space rock kind of vibe. And it doesn't quite hit that exact mark, but it does open the bounds up to the different possibilities, which we've already begun opening those bounds and those doors up as we've listened to this album so far. But the way that they so smoothly transitioned into that was unexpected. It was sneaky. They were very sneaky in how they performed that transition. But that was really, really cool. I love how the bass comes in stronger as well in the second half of that break, just really coming up really, really nicely. And then, as I mentioned, the transition, when that happens, even the production changes. There's a little bit of a shift in the panning as well, and you get different effects on the left and right, which kind of, it allows that moment to envelop you really nicely. That was super, super impressive. It's songs like this, or even I Just Can't Be Happy today, that as we're going through the album, it really makes me think about like Forrest Gump. Life is a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get inside. I don't know what we're going to get inside as we continue on in the album, but it's leaving me very, very curious. That's cool. I'm going back to church tonight, just like back when I was 8. But I don't mean to pray. I'm going to nick a collection plate. The chorus is hilarious. I've got nothing against church or any people who go there. Well, that's good. and show they're plain ignorance and don't understand. A congregation at weekends won't change their behavior. So many people are weak and have to seek answers from peddlers of hope. I should know, I used to go there myself. That's until the day I became anti-pope. So he's speaking from his own personal experience, obviously from the first line where he says, I'm going back to church. And then he mentions like, I should know because I used to go. And he's like, and then the line, I've got nothing against church or the people that go there. And then proceeds to go against. It's going to be fun tonight, spreading news around the town that the vicars are transvestites with a fetish for robes and gowns. And he repeats the chorus. Religion doesn't mean a thing. It's just another way of being not white. My R's and W's. Right wing. I think sex films are okay. I don't dig that Pope. No way. I think that's hilarious. That's good. That's good. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be These Hands. Let's go. I don't know why. Let's go.
I see you laughing.
Okay, so maybe it's Plan 9 Channel 7 that's the best song on the album so far. Okay, so right now, Plan 9 Channel 7, that's the 7th track on the album, right? We're a little over halfway through. That is the centerpiece on the table. That's the big, flower bouquet that sits on the table when you invite all your family over. That's what that is. That's the centerpiece on the album. And while, of course, things can keep on going up from here, I gotta say that right now I feel like I'm at a peak. This was a perfect track from the band. It's, in a way, their longest song on the album. There's another one later coming up soon that's actually the same exact amount of time at 5 minutes and 8 seconds. And they use that time perfectly. The guitar playing, out of this world, sensational. Perhaps I would say that even in this track is the best example of just that amazing guitar playing, and it's amazing. And then the singing, obviously the singing is great throughout, but I really love that high note part where the singing is going up this way and the guitar solos its way to hit that same stratosphere. That was just really great. I was mentioning it, but the bass playing throughout that particular section of the solo, I love how you hear him going up and down the frets. Bum, 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 and then traveling back down. So it was a nice traveling bass line that gave the space here some expansion and some melodic room to play with. I just thought that was really, really sensational. And then going back into the previous track, These Hands, we had another change because we ended up going on a merry-go-round of this kind of quasi-polka Doors music. Just once again exemplifying a completely different corner of the room that we haven't explored in the studio, and yet the Damned are choosing to explore it, and they don't leave a crevice unchecked. Your doctor says the same thing. Let's go. Let's look at the lyrics for These Hands. These are the hands of a demented circus clown. Outside I'm laughing, but inside I'm really wearing a frown. I see you laughing at me, but baby, in my dreams, it's quite a different scene. So this is kind of that typical, what was that clown whose name started with a P? Outside he's smiling clown, of course, but inside he's sad. I forgot his name. But here it's kind of the same thing, But he says, outside I'm laughing, inside I'm wearing a frown. Chasing you through the night with my hands around your neck. Well, that's a scary clown. Funny how everything seems in Technicolor, yet I find I'm laughing at you and you are turning blue. All right. I've never seen the movie, but there's that movie Terrifier with the guy, the clown, Artie the Clown. I feel like this would be possibly his anthem. All right. And then moving on to Plan 9 Channel 7, the best song on the album at this particular point. She plays her mouth into a smile and offers that he stay a while. Two hearts that beat as one, and eyes that hardly ever saw the sun. Hollywood babbles on. She lays a wreath of lilies on his grave, his flame gone along with the love he never gave. Not to be seduced by those red lips, two-dimensional comic clips, Hollywood babbles on and on. Channel 7, Shades of Grey, Too Close but Two Worlds Away. Plan 9 is her domain, Too Close but Two Worlds Away. So obviously two people that are really, really far away, but somehow there was a connection there. It says that this song is about actress Mila Nurmi, aka Vampira, who starred in the film Plan 9 from Outer Space, never heard of it, and her relationship with James Dean. I think I've heard of him, but I've never heard of the movie. Let's take a quick look at it. Why not? Let's see what it's about. Let's see. It is narrated. It is simply. I guess Bela Lugosi was also guesting in here. Here we go. The film's storyline concerns extraterrestrials who seek to stop humanity from creating a doomsday weapon that could destroy the universe. The aliens implement Plan 9, a scheme to resurrect the Earth's dead. By causing chaos, the aliens hope the crisis will force humanity to listen to them. Otherwise, the aliens will destroy mankind with armies of undead. That kind of sounds like a cool movie. Actually, sounds like a cool idea. Have any movies like taken that and like? I know like a lot of people are against remakes. Listen, some of the classics are remakes of earlier film, but like that sounds like a cool, kind of a cool idea behind that. So this is talking about that actress, Mila Nurmi, Vampira. What does she look like? I'm just curious. Vampira. Let's see. Vampira Plan 9. Let's see. I'm pulling up images. She kind of looks like from the Addams Family. What was her name? Like that kind of gothy, I guess vampire-ish kind of thing. She looks cool. Some cool eyebrows. All right, let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Noise, Noise, Noise. Will it be neat, neat, neat? Let's go. That turned. Ace melted. I got no idea what was happening at the end. Okay. One man's noise is another person's music. I think that's the basis of this track, and they really put their punk anthem out there. This is them going to a bar, putting it on the jukebox, as they say, playing it up as loud as they can, getting into brawls, getting into fights, drinking beers with the usual people. With the usual crowds. This is that bar room punk brawl kind of sound. I gotta tell. Okay, so first of all, like this is the song where the music like it exemplifies what I think of the idea of punk as. But it's done extremely well. I'm going to contribute that once again just to the fantastic guitar work and the really nice bass playing. But I gotta say, looking at the lyrics, the first verse is the funniest thing. At 7 a.m. on a brand new day, I'm going to start it in the perfect way. Sounds good. Put the greatest record on. Good music always is a great start to the day. I kick the dog, I kick the cat, insult my mom, insult my dad, scream out loud and sing along. Well, see, now things have taken a turn. We were going on a straight path and all of a sudden we just veered right over the ditch. We say noise is for heroes, leave the music for zeros. Noise is for heroes, oh yeah. So yeah, you may listen to the music I'm listening to and you say, that's just noise. The noise is for heroes. You stick to your music over there, Grandpa. We'll stick to our noise over here. I'm down the pub and the time is 1. Hit the jukebox for my favorite song. Gonna turn it up loud, or too loud. Not even loud, too loud. Have a couple of games of pool, argue with a drunken fool, have a beer with the usual crowd. Goes on from there. It's 8 o'clock down the church hall. I have enough amplifiers 6 feet tall. Gonna turn them up full blast. The vicar waves his arms and looks absurd. The noise drowns out his godly words and he can't get out too fast. Even the priest is running back to the church there. But he ain't got no collection plate because he took that earlier. I think that's hilarious. The first verse, though, that takes the cake. And the cat and the dog. All right, so let's go ahead and move on into the next track here, which is Looking at You. Looking looking at you. That's as close as it can go. Okay, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here, get out. Scary. All right, let's move on to the next track. Here we go. Air guitaring. Doesn't that guitar tone sound so Motorhead? You know what listening to this has made me kind of think about? The whole band I'm applying this to, but if I'm being specific as to Sensible on the guitar and his guitar playing, I would love to know at this specific time, like, what other bands and artists were influencing them and their playing. Like, what's kind of caused them to go into this progression different than what I've heard of them before. Because I'm really just focusing on the guitar playing, but like I said, this can be applied to the whole band, obviously. In the solo there, which was just fantastic, there's almost this early blues moving into the psychedelic era kind of flavor to the guitar playing, and yet it's not played in a psychedelic way necessarily, but it does have a spirit in there. And like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like there is even perhaps like a little Pink Floyd-ish in there. There's just something extra in the guitar playing, which I think it's really interesting how a band like The Damned have incorporated this into their music and really made it feel like so strong in how they do that. They bring a really cool atmosphere into the music. Even like I said in the break here where, yeah, the music here is straightforward, like just ba 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 ba. But even in that break where they bring it down, they don't only bring it down in like rhythm or melody or whatever, but like they bring down the volume. And when a band does that, I feel like it reminds me of like an old blues show where the blues band is up on stage, they're giving it their all, and then they get into that moment where it all comes down just a little bit. And perhaps the singer just lets out a few words. He doesn't like sing a verse, but just like, just call out for a few things. Then the guitar will play like a little lick before you know that it's all going to come rolling right back uphill and get back into the swing of things, which this particular track does. But it's in that space that I think is just really interesting. And that's where I'm kind of listening to like, here, have they been influenced by any of their contemporaries? Have they been influenced by like bands that maybe just came before them? I don't know. I just feel like there's something extra there. And I feel like if there was an interview specifically with Captain Sensible, with his guitar playing and everything, I think that there would probably be some indication of what he was listening to at the time. Matter of fact, we may even be able to look really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time doing this, but we may be able to even find like if there is some influence on here. But off of my like quick looking, I don't see anything immediately. I would have to dive deeper into it and see. But like I said, I don't want to take too much time doing that. But I am looking. I'm doing it really quick. I'm looking at Captain Sensible's personal Wikipedia page just to see if there's anything in here that says about like his influences or who he was listening to around the time in '79. But I'm not seeing anything specific as I look around, so I don't have an answer for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the lyrics then in that case. When it happened, something snapped inside me, made me want to hide. All alone on my own, all alone on my own. I stood up on the stand, my eyes shut tight, didn't want to see anybody. Feeling all right, having a good time, doing all right. Also, I wanted to say that Dave on his singing, especially in this song, I really like the speeding up of his pacing in certain ways, and then the backing off and slowing down of his pacing with certain words, especially when those words are repeated, because it adds this kind of fun, characteristic effect into the music here. I saw into the dancing crowd, felt like screaming out loud. I saw you standing there, saw your long, long hair. Opened up my eyes, baby. You made me realize what I want to do now. All I want to do now, babe, is look at you, looking at you. So I feel like this is just the band playing on stage. He sees someone in the audience, and he's like, I'm just all eyes. And he repeats that from there. Let's move on into the next track here, which is gonna be A Liar. Let's go.
You ask me why
Liar, which I thought for a second might be a cover from Sex Pistols, is a really strong, catchy, anthemic kind of punk track. Especially with the ending where you hear the isolated vocals there, but even before that, with just the call of liar, liar, da 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 da, right? When it goes on, and then you got that long drum roll, liar, liar. It's just insanely catchy, not just because of the vocals, but because of moments like with that drum fill. And then, as if we didn't have enough corners left unexplored, for just a moment, when Scabies gets into that little, I don't know if I would call it a drum solo necessarily, but like that isolated drum moment, the pattern that he's playing on the drums is very like old school jazz bandstand swing kind of sound. Like you can really imagine that popping up with some horns and stuff. Like, hold on. Right? Bum, 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 bum. Like you can hear the swing music coming into that. That is just really cool how they brought that into it. And then right on the second half of that little isolated part, then it kind of kicks back into a slightly more punk rhythm that we're more acclimated with on the album. Just briefly. Right? In a way, he keeps the spirit of that. He like shows off like, hey, look what we could do. And then he's like, but look what we've done with it. And I think that that's really impressive how he brought that together so organically. Brought two worlds, in a sense, together. There's not a word of truth in anything that I say. I don't really want to listen until they go away. I haven't finished and I never try. If you ask me reasons, I just lie. I'm a liar, I never tell the truth. I tell you how I feel and why it is, and what you are if you don't start to give. I love spending hours watching television. I stole the best lies and then I call up your crepid politicians. I've never, in my years, have seen that word, crepid. Let's look that up, huh? Crepid. It's not even coming up. I see decrepit. I know that. So maybe that was an issue. Maybe someone was typing the lyrics that I'm reading and they wrote that wrong. Because I am not seeing the word crepid. C-R-E-P-I-D. Let's see. Now I want to know, and I know now I want to know why you never look. Oh, I'm looking at Sex Pistols because I pulled up the lyrics to make sure. I tell you why, or I tell you how I feel and why it is. So on that part, I smoked your last cigarette. I say that someone else did. I send your mom to bed to find if your sister's frigid. I don't know what that means. You ask me why, I just lie. I'm going to be the biggest liar in the world. I'll be so good you'll believe every word. I could even make you believe Adolf Hitler. Send him to Russia for the winter. Those Russian winters I hear are harsh. I'm a liar. I never tell the truth. And he tells you what he is right there. You don't get on the frog's back. Hold on. Don't let the scorpion get on your back if you know what his nature is. All right, let's move on to the final two tracks of the album. It's Smash It Up Part 1 and Smash It Up Part 2. Let's go ahead and smash them together and just let them play together. Did that rhyme? So let's go ahead and do it. Here we go. I got raised up. I got no idea what kind of subliminal messaging was happening there at the end. Isn't it a copy like a type of like a deer or something related? Okay, I don't know. This is the perfect conclusive track. This is the epitome of the band and what they've built up to this point. I think it perfectly captures the energy, the spirit of the band. There are bits of experimentation. There's stellar musicianship that they've put on full display throughout this whole thing. I think that this is the perfect ending of this journey that we've taken on. So the first part is an instrumental, and it's just so mellow. It's relaxing. It leaves your mind to wander, to just have a little bit of a rest. And it feels like the ending. Like, you know when you're watching a movie and it's, let's just say, a 90-minute movie, and about 70 minutes in, you know that you're reaching the conclusion. You've reached the nearing of the end of the climax, and now you're in that resolution phase. That opening here in the intro, I think, is the perfect beginning of that resolution. And then we have one last send off with the music, and then we're done. We've completed our audio meal. I like how the music comes down in the intro and then raises back up, and immediately how you're welcomed by not only just the sheer energy of the band and the music, but specifically that little keyboard line, the bop, 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 bop. Everything in here sounds really fantastic. Like I said, all their stellar musicianship is on full display here, but not in a show-offy or showmanship kind of way, and yet the showmanship, I think, comes through very well. It does feel like a little bit of an anthem, the way that they're singing, smash it up and everything. I think that it comes down to the perfect formula of what the band is, what they're capable of, and what they've done and accomplished at this specific point in time. We've been crying now for much too long, and now we're going to dance to a different song. I'm going to scream and shout till my dying breath. I'm going to smash it up till there's nothing left. Smash it up, smash it up. People call me villain, oh, it's such a shame. Maybe it's my clothes must be the blame. I don't even care if I look a mess. Don't want to be a sucker like all the rest. Then he says, you can keep your Krishna burgers and your Glastonbury hippies. You can stick your frothy lager and your blow wave hairstyle. I'm gonna look up what's a blow wave hairstyle. That looks good. What's wrong with it? I wish I had hair I could do that with. And then actually it just repeats from there. So I think he's basically saying like, you guys can do what you're doing over there. We're fine over here on our end. We're gonna do things for ourselves. We're gonna smash it up. We're gonna build something new. We're gonna explore new territories, different avenues, musically, and other ways socially. And to do that, we gotta tear it down. We gotta break it down, smash it up, and then we'll build it back up from the ashes. From the ashes, a phoenix will rise. And then, like I said, the end, it has, I guess the phrase is nibbled to death by an okapi. Isn't it? And isn't an okapi, isn't that a type of like deer thing? Kind of. All right, so I have the right idea, but it's a giraffid. It looks like a horse and a zebra, and something else that I haven't seen. Okay, so that's an okapi is quite interesting. It says that this track is considered the band's unofficial anthem. The single was the second release from the band's third studio album. Let's see. The song's lyrics criticize those who indulge in hippie culture instead of advocating for political revolution. It was boycotted. This song was boycotted on BBC Radio 1 because of its perceived anarchic lyrics, stalling at number 35 in the UK singles chart. I think that's interesting. They banned this song as apparently it was obviously making waves and coming up in the charts, and then they banned it or boycotted it, and then it just like stopped. Just cut their momentum. Just killed it right there. That's a great track. All right, so now that we've finished the album, I still think I think that there's 4 favorite tracks that I have on the album: Plan 9, Channel 7, Anti-Pope, I Just Can't Be Happy Today, and then Smash It Up I would put at the very bottom of my favorite songs just because I just listened to it and I would have to listen to it again. But man, Plan 9 was my favorite easily on the album at this particular point. I'm just looking to see if there's any interesting information on the band or on the album at this point. It says the album features more fast-paced punk tracks and it's been cited as proto-hardcore. Nope, there's no fun information. I was looking to see if there's something fun about it, but I don't see anything. But a lot of times you guys have the fun information, so I'll leave that for you guys to explore. But all of you, thank you so much for watching, for listening to the music alongside with me, for sitting down and being here for such a long time. Maybe you sat here in one sitting like I did and you listened to it, or maybe you're splitting it up. You're divvying it up between the times that you have availability to sit down and listen to it with me. I appreciate it either way. Press the like button before you leave. Of course, I want to know your thoughts in the comments down there below. Follow me on Patreon and Twitter. You can support me on Patreon. Subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for spending so much time with me today, and I hope that you guys come back tomorrow. Bye.